One thing you can learn about me, ain't nobody putting word like me. Can't drip, can't sauce like me. Ripping it up, I'm a major key. I am the one, not the two or the three. Get on my level if you wanna be better than ever. I got what I need. Pushing the limit, that's how it's gonna be. I promise I won't take it easy. It's only right that I come with that greasy. It's only right that I give him that pressure. Just watch, you don't have to believe me. I'ma do my thing. Watch me do my thing. I'ma do my thing. I did not come to play. I ain't got no limit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. I ain't got no.
What's so funny? What's so funny?
I'm wearing Fred's shirt.
You are wearing Fred's shirt. Oh my God.
We're non-monetized again.
Yeah. And I meant that with all due respect, by the way.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Hey, you're lucky. Fred's at church right now. You know,
well, he needs to be at church.
Yeah.
He needs all of that Holy Ghost.
Out of church, he's going to see that, you know. So,
well, we did it before everybody started watching, so we're good.
Oh yeah, slipped it right in.
He doesn't come into the last 7 minutes of the show anyway. Hey, fellas,
because he's at church. You know?
Out. What I missed.
He's at the end. You know?
He's a good Christian boy. I like that.
Right.
Amen.
Man, welcome everybody. We're on 35 or 36. Do you remember, Wes?
We're on 36, sir.
36? Oh.
36.
We took last weekend off. I think we were all freaking exhausted. I know I was. Man, I didn't get home till, I think Monday at midnight. So, but man, we had a great time at the Royal. I mean, the Shiggin Fried Show, how awesome was that, huh? On Wednesday night at Proud Souls. Man, that was, it was a blast. Big shout out to Proud Souls for having us there. Man, it seemed like, and it was, I don't know, it seemed like there was a couple of thousand people there. What do you guys think? I can't remember. You know, but it was
crew concert, man.
10, 15,000 probably. But yeah, man, what a great time.
When your fire marshal comes in and tells you got to for that 20 grand out of there.
Les Garrett, you want to do some shout outs for the show? Like you borrowed a bunch of equipment. Who'd you borrow that equipment from?
Dude, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I want to thank Tim Longo with what's this team? No, I'm messing with Smoke Buster BBQ. The guy had a tremendous amount of equipment. He does some DJing on the side, some strip shows or something, I believe. But he let us borrow all of that, man. I talked to him today, and he's actually already in on letting us. He's coming next year. He's bringing more speakers. He's going to get it set up right. He said he'll make it perfect for us. So
I can return all this stuff I bought, basically. Yeah.
You know what? You might want to just hold on to it to make sure in case this guy gets pissed off or something. You know, he's not on the show. You know, a lot of people want to come on the show, so let's hold on to it.
Man, we do have a lot of people, man. I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of messages of people that want to come on the show. So, man, if we don't put you on the show, it's not because, man, we'll get around to it. But, you know, there's only one person per week. And, man, we get lots of inquiries, lots of people that want to come on the show. And
there he is.
Unfortunately, somebody hit me up this weekend. I'm like, man, I got Chunky on. Oh, yeah, okay. They back down pretty quick, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did win smoking on the Rio. That was kind of what they said, something like that. No, it's
well, I mean, we had a Brazil team there this week where we were at the World Championship in Harper. You know, Brazil. I think Brazil even got a call.
You know? Bill won.
It happened to GC, and even though Brazil was there, but yeah. But don't be offended if you don't get on the show, because there's just, man, we've got a lot of people and lots of inquiries as well as a list. And we've even got people that are already committed to coming on the show. So trying to juggle all that, man, be patient. Hopefully we'll get around to everybody at some point. But
it's a 3-month waiting list. Easy. Easy.
Just message Wes. He's got a rolling list and he's got all the applications. So just message Wes and he'll
you would be better off getting your vote counted in Arizona than getting on this show. Do you understand that? I just want you to know that.
But we do have people we need to thank for the I mean, there was more than, I mean, obviously the guy that supplied the equipment, but Proud Souls that let us take over their bay, you know, Snake River Farm and Stretch, they came through with some food. Man, Tony Tanachi, he showed up to help with some of the equipment, as well as man, what Jonathan. Was the Jonathan? Yeah, Jonathan, and Jonathan seemed to know a bunch of stuff about, which was great because, man, me, Phil, and Wes really didn't know anything about the equipment. We're just plugging stuff in, and man, those guys came through and made it work.
Yeah, if you tell us, we understand if it works or not. Like, does it work? Yes or no.
I was just hoping Tim wouldn't come back and plug it all in, like you said. And it's not, like it was broke when we got it, Tim. I just want you to know that.
It was pretty impressive. That was a lot of wires.
It was a lot of electrical liquid tape.
I've got 2 wires on my entire setup here, and one of them don't work.
Man, do you have the mic that I gave you, bro? Because I gave you a mic when we were there. I don't know if you do or not.
Man, you know what I do? I remember it's probably still in my back seat. I'm glad you reminded me. I'll have
but
to.
That mic seems to be working, so I think we're.
Does it have a cord? How do I plug that in? I need to look at it. I'm glad you reminded me. Probably buried in the back seat under the Funyuns or something.
Absolutely.
Did you cook this weekend, Wes, or no? Were you cooking?
No, I'm not this weekend, man. Recovering. I don't know how you guys even thought about cooking, but recovering that past weekend and getting ready to go to Cumming, Georgia for the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic. And we're done for the year after that.
How many teams will be at the Atlanta Barbecue?
He's got 96 now. I think there's 55 or 58 in pros, and then they're continually adding to them. So he had the show last night, and he added a couple on the show. And man, if you guys haven't gone on there, I know a lot of Texas teams, and everybody loves to go after nice trophies. Y'all go check out his trophies, man. If you've ever been to, I've never been to Murfreesboro, and we all know that the glass apples are highly sought after. Well, man, they've got the beautiful glass peaches, and you've got to, man, these things are absolutely gorgeous. So if you go after trophies, you like them, they're definitely one to go after. So come on over and have fun with us.
Nice.
So he's got glass peaches. That's nice. Yeah, there's Brian Jarvis in the comments. There he is right there. That's awesome.
59 Pro. What's up, Brian?
Wrapped up their team of the year. Man, CBA, this is the last month of CBA, so we're kind of jammed up the next few weeks, wrapping up the CBA year and seeing how that all shakes out.
Yeah,
how's that
got 3 weeks. We got 3 weeks.
How's that looking rankings? I haven't seen it. You boys in the running to win it all?
Yeah, Robert Smith's in the lead right now. I'm second. Bill's third. Sure Shot's fourth, I think, and then Gonzalez Family Barbecue, I think, is fifth off the top of my head. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll come down, man, to the wire. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 weeks left. A GC by any of those guys can shuffle it around. I don't know that anyone can catch Phil and Robert. But myself at third, Josh at fourth, and Renee at fifth. I think, man, if either one of those 2 guys, they can easily jump me. So, man, I need another GC to maybe secure my spot in third, but I don't think I can reach. I haven't done the math to see, but I think Phil and Robert are, man, they got a little distance. Unless maybe I string 3 GCs this last 3 weeks, and even that may not be enough. I don't know. So,
man, it probably would.
Be back there. Do we have a running on where Kid is? Do we have a following where Canned Heat? Is he sneaking in there?
He was leading. He was leading this weekend, man. He pulled up and got a first place chicken on us. Then I think he got like a second rib. And
check this out right here.
Wait. Time out.
He shit the bed in brisket.
Thanks, buddy.
That's $1.99, man. Somebody got their bonus.
Well, he also GC'd this weekend. You know,
that's where the big money comes from.
Yeah, you know what? Just for that, for the $1.99,
right?
It's coming. Shit's running slow tonight. Nope.
Fuck.
There we go.
That button's running out of steam.
Internet is broke, bro. It just gets active of it.
Give him the porn sound. Give him the porn sound if you can, because he did GC this weekend.
Well, that's what I was giving to him, but it's $1.99. Don't get the O part.
Oh fuck!
That's
I mean, it's really kind of not really a big deal, is it, Wes? You know?
Oh, well, it's
no big deal.
Finally. We were efforting Chris for months for that, as they say on Showtime. Efforting.
That took 3 takes in my trailer at the Royal to get it right. It took us 3 takes. Play it again. No big deal.
Got to.
No big deal.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, it's funny when he's being recorded. He's a little faster paced. No big deal. Yeah,
Slow it down. No big deal.
slow it down.
See how much fun we can have with that.
No, so Bill, you're right. All right, before we got the big donation, man, Kit was at the contest me and Bill were at, and
Yeah.
man, we were lucky to get around the corner. If Kit would cook more than a $37 brisket, he would have won the contest.
He would have won
There's
the
no doubt
contest.
about it.
Yeah, he would have. Man, but he showed up with a Walmart brisket, and it's called a nice Angus, which is really code word for Walmart.
Cheap,
Man, he
AKA.
didn't walk in brisket. You know, that's what killed
He
him.
cooked the fucking tri-tips. What he did, he didn't know any different.
He
Man,
cooked
Phil almost got a
$19
picture of
Angus,
his setup.
and he had a
you know.
hunk of flank steak for burn-ins. We don't know what it was.
We are looking for donations to give him good meat for one contest. Let's see what the guy can do. Let's
Man,
take the restrictor plate
I'll
off.
wait till December. I
got.
don't need him getting in the way.
His
What a
point
great
looked like skirt steak. You know, I think he trimmed one point and cut it into thirds. That way he can last 3 cook-offs. You know, it looked like a flank steak.
Man, that was
And
the
it was-
play.
And it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm over there. He's got chicken scattered everywhere, chicken juice everywhere. He's got thighs, legs, I mean, he had a whole tray of chicken, and then he's got this point, and I'm like, "What's that, kid?" "Oh, that's my point." And I go, "Man, shouldn't you have it on the pit?" Man, it's like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah,
Probably ought to put it on.
no.
Jeez. Hey, how is he not sponsored by Dollar Tree? Isn't that the biggest? That's the biggest screw up in all of barbecue. He's not fully sponsored by Dollar Tree.
He needs to be sponsored by Clorox, is what he needs to be sponsored by. You know,
Yeah, Clorox wipes.
something. You know, I mean,
All that
Roadie
being
ice.
said,
We love to get him some ice in his cooler. It's
man,
actually
he had
cold.
dead to the rights going into brisket. We were Dunsky. So
Yeah.
he-
It got down to they called third place brisket, and I looked at Phil. I go, "It's me and you," and Phil goes, "Or Kit," and I was like, "Man, I forgot shit, man. If Kit gets in there, one of us is going to get chingled." And lo and behold, they called Phil for second, and I'm like, "Man, watch Kit get first place brisket and just take the whole contest." But luckily enough, that $37 Angus didn't get in there. So.
Absolutely. Zach, come on by, man. Love to have you come by and say, hey, and we hang out, maybe have a beer or 5 or 6 or something like that.
Oh yeah, Brian saw his point. Brian was there. Oh, thanks, Serge.
Appreciate it,
Appreciate
Serge.
it.
Thank you, my man.
Appreciate
See,
it,
Serge
Serge.
is usually the big dollar man. You're not going to get the good one yet. You're going to have to bump it up. But the $199, that'll get smoking and toasted. It's a weighted average, bro.
that contest. Bill, congrats on the GC. Man, me and Bill almost got in there on the, we almost made it to the finals on the goat roping, but man, we really did have a fast goat. And
We did have a
I
fast
don't know
goat.
what happened to the video. I've got 20 minutes of video. Man, I've got 15 seconds leading up to we're about to rope, and then it skips, and then it goes dark for 19 minutes. So we didn't get the goat roping. The goat was
We
that
don't have it. I was wondering.
Yeah,
I was
no-
going to ask you if you got it on video or not, because I know that
Yeah.
guy had the camera.
Yeah, I think it was in his pocket or something. I don't know what happened, but yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get the speed goat on camera. And man, I was heading, and I hit his head, and it came off the horns. He just did this move, like
John,
a backflip or something.
Thank you, my
and
man.
Appreciate it, John.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate you, boss.
But we'll
Yeah,
be back
after awards, they were circling all these. They had these goat roping thing, and me and Phil, I went live on my chicken fry page, so you can kind of see some of the goat roping. And Phil's like, "Man, I think we can do it." And I'm like, "Man, we just saw 6 guys miss. I'm like, we can't do worse than them." So, man, we asked a little announcer, and they're like, $20 a team. Anybody can join in. And man, you got ropes, you can borrow ropes. So we borrowed ropes and got in
Jerry,
there. and
appreciate you, boss.
we missed like everybody else, but our goat was a lot faster.
Man, he
We
was
did have
faster, and we didn't miss completely. Man,
No.
Hey, and before you guys question anything, Bill and Phil are stationary athletes. Don't you ever question their
Well, that's
how
the neat
good they
thing
are.
about
They are
goat roping.
stationary athletes.
I didn't
Yeah.
know goat roping, but you don't have to tie their legs. All you got to do is rope them.
Bill showed up in high water boots. He was like, "Oh, not that
No.
kind of goat thing."
Man, I was in my Crocs.
and we didn't have our cowboy boots, and we didn't have our own ropes. We had to borrow. These are with borrowed ropes. So even with borrowed equipment, Man, we
borrowed
almost,
equipment on Crocs, and we still almost took. I mean, we made it to the semifinals, but we went to eat.
I told Bill, I'm like, man, if we get into the finals, they're going to turn on us. Man, we're going to have to pull up camp. Get
and
the
they
fuck
were
out.
happy that we lost. I mean, the guys there, because we'd already won the contest, so they were really, man. If we'd have went in there and roped the goat and won all that money, they'd really been. I don't know if we'd made it out of there.
Your ass out of there.
NBA wouldn't have-
They'd
they
got
would
you
be-
out of there.
Man, they would have been kicked out. They wouldn't be sanctioned the cook-off next year. Man, a good time would have went to shit. So I I told him, like, man, just let that go get a little bit of lead. We'll look like we're gonna get the goat.
Yeah, and look, before we bring John with Chunky's on, I don't ever want to hear any shit about Mississippi ever again after this episode. Goat roping at a fucking contest. Win a GC, they give you a belt buckle, and you all think you're John Dutton. Son of a bitch. Good God. Ever. Y'all not rips. There's only one rip, guys. You can't all be rips.
And I really wish we had that footage. Maybe somebody's got the footage. If anybody's got footage, send it to us.
If there's anybody out there,
And there's a lot of
this
cameras in the
time.
crowd. It's a big deal. It's just like, I don't know, they do a circuit or something. This was on the goat roping circuit.
How about
there's at least
that?
200 people there watching goat roping after the
At least
contest.
The whole town was there. I mean, like, man, we got goat roping tonight. Man, this
Dude,
is
that's
what
awesome.
you do.
I did see him go live from it, but I was like, man, I don't know what they're doing there. I got a little weirded out that there was goats and people were.
Hey,
Maybe
I
around.
talked to Robert Smith with First Class. He told me they've done goat roping at his restaurant before. They hire in, I mean, you can hire the goats to come in. I mean, they brought a trailer full of goats. You can bring them in and, man, set it up as just like you can hire midgets and all that stuff, to throw midgets. You can hire the whole goat roping thing. So
They go by
Nothing
small
you just said
people.
surprises me, Bill, especially since Robert told you this. Like,
yeah,
Robert's
Robert said and he said he had people lined up to the highway. Cars, man.
why do
was
we
one of
not
the
have
biggest
more
con-
goat roping after, like, at contests? Like, I mean,
We
it's,
should. We
man, I'm
should.
out on cornhole,
Yeah.
but man, you bring the goats in, man, I'll get in there.
If
Yeah,
anybody has a business, Jordan, Kirkpatrick Motors, dude, goat roping, midget wrestling.
Get your own
Look it
trophy.
That is worth at least 3 cars sold right there. Would you not say it?
Man, the ancillary this week is goat, and you cook whichever one you catch.
This is like grabbing your own lobster. You catch it, we cook it.
Man, I like that white one over there. That white one.
They probably would do it, Shane. They probably would do it.
Call him
Yeah,
Patches.
they're like, no, you can't rope the midget. We can't cook him legally.
We're going to hell.
Yeah, we're about to get the plug. Boy, y'all go to MySpace. We'll be on MySpace later on.
And midget
It's the only
wrestling
place.
at a barbecue contest would be, man, that would be a big hit. That'd be something I'd be in to watch, is the midget
Why
wrestling.
not midget
They
goat
normally
rope?
have the midget wrestling. It's not at a contest. I'm at a contest, so I can't go to the midget wrestling when it comes.
We
to
can
that.
give them nicknames like John Butt.
Jordan's about to buy a
Man,
fucking
it's
trailer
man,
full of goats, I think.
Micro Jackson. Micro Jackson is the
The
midget.
hell with the squiggly man. Just get a bunch of goats in your car lot.
Oh,
I need somebody to clean this goat shit up.
Justy, Jimmy's comment. Jimmy won. He won chicken. I keep trying to put it up.
Chicken roping.
Put it up.
Jesus, I love it.
We're hitting the button at the same time.
I feel like I live in Manhattan now.
I have so many questions, Jimmy. I have so many questions.
Chicken roping, guys. I've got it. If you got a video, send it in. We'll put it up, please.
I didn't
Send
think
it in,
goat
Jimmy.
roping would
You
be
gotta have
top.
a video.
Man, I think chicken roping would top that.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be more chaotic. Just because
Yeah.
chickens are like spazzy.
Well, they had a little electric thing, and they had little speed cameras, kind of like in baseball, so they can measure the speed of the goats and everything. And the guy had a little electronic, stick. He could shock the goats to shoot them. I think he pronged ours a little hard, actually. So
Man, it wouldn't even register the speed that goat came out with. It was just like
Yeah.
H, like on the timer.
we caught a hot goat. That was the only reason why we
It was a
missed.
hot goat.
It was a hot goat.
They gave them the business.
Yeah, they did.
We were
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know if
rough.
I was left-handed or right-handed with the rope. The boy gave me a rope. Yeah, man, I don't know. I throw a baseball left-handed. I shoot basketball. Man, I was all fucked up. I didn't know if I was right or left-handed with it. But
Jesus.
Phil hit the damn goat. I thought Phil was going to rope it, and I thought, fuck, we're in trouble. Phil's going to rope this bitch, and there ain't no way I'm going to be able to get the legs on this goat, you know? So I just chunked the rope at the goat, just trying to hit the goat with the rope. And I'm not really sure.
I was just thinking I was doing it first, and then, man, the way it came out hot, I mean, I guess it like sparked something in me because I'm like, whoa, man, he's into it. I'm into it. And then when I threw, man, I had to go a little further because he was coming out so fast. And man, I felt the rope hit his horn. Like, I'm like, holy shit, I about got him. And then it slipped off.
Phil had him.
Because, man, for a millisecond in my mind, I thought, I got him. You know?
Phil's getting passionate about this.
I was really kind of glad that Phil missed, you know, just because, man, if he would have got him, man, all the pressure had been on me, and there's no way I could have roped that goat's leg. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, Phil's so into it. I bet you put in your application at the Quad 6 Ranch in Texas, didn't you? Don't lie.
I'm glad I missed too, Bill, because if I would have, man, he probably would have jerked my shoulder, and I'd be, man, my shoulders are already fucked up. You know, it'd be more.
Well, I was wondering too, like if we did happen to rope the goat, I wasn't going to go wrestle the goat to get the rope off. And all those other goat ropers were, you know, they go there and they're just wangling those freaking goats to get the rope back. Man, I was just going to let it fly. You got it. You can have it. I'm out of here. And just do a walk-off goat rope, you know? So.
Look, for all the promoters out there that do watch the show, and you always coming out, it's like, man, what could we do to make the event but goat roping? We would love to see more goat roping. And they're very portable. Man, these guys pull up with a short little stock trailer, 20 goats, man, a bunch of panels, and boom, you have goat roping.
Yeah, and Clay, you're right. That is the 4-6s ranch. The Quad 6s ranch is for barbecuers who think they're fucking goat cowboys. Total different ranch. Get it straight. They're next to each other. However, they're not the same.
Well, speaking of walk-offs, and you know, I was trying to walk off with a goat rope. Man, I think our guest tonight kind of pulled a walk-off. Maybe we should bring Chunky on. What do you boys think?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if he's got any goat roping experience.
There he is.
Well, there he is.
How's it going, John?
Experience with the goat roping.
No goat roping.
All new in here. This is something else.
Right.
Can you imagine how much fun that would have been after you got all your pictures taken at the Royal and going, hey, well, come on down here. We got goat roping. Man, let's give it a whirl.
I don't know if I had that
over.
Well, man, are you starting to relax a little bit? Is it sinking in?
I would like to say yes, but it's still I'll still just randomly in my workday go, I just won the effing open on the to win team of the year. It's still sinking in.
Man, it's like I thought I had a double win this weekend. You know, I won first place brisket and I won the contest. It felt like 2 wins, but man, your 2 wins are so much bigger. The open and team of the year and 1 contest at the very end. Well, that's just crazy. So yeah.
Man, super cool. Super cool. Congratulations again.
Oh no, yeah, thank you. Like I say, it's still sinking in for a lot of us. You know, even walking up there, everybody's asking me, "What about team of the year?" And I'm like, by 1 point. And even then, I still waiting for KCBS to update. I'm like, is my math right? And it took
so you had done the math, right? You did the math beforehand.
I knew the math beforehand, and then Chris Schaefer messaged me Sunday night, and he's like, he had a couple of comments, and I'm like, he's like, don't worry, I did the math before I texted you. It was just that close.
Wow,
and it was 1 point. Man, that was a lot of things lined up between winning the Open on the last day of the KCBS Team of the Year point chase and sealing the deal by 1 point. So, man, what a crazy race coming down to the wire.
And you leading up to it though, you went down to BBQ. I mean, we'll talk about that for a little bit because I think, you know, man, just talking about the race, you knew you kind of had to pull one out there at BBQ, and knowing that that's kind of Jordan's, man, his record at BBQ has been pretty pretty solid, I think. Man, I don't know if he's GC'd the last 4 or 5 or RGC'd, but man, he hasn't really stumbled at BBQ much. And man, going into there and kind of obviously not pulling a win out of there. How were you? What was the mindset like going into the Royal? Nah, we can't hear you.
It's on mute, John. There we go.
Now,
There we
this
go.
week's, I had talked with a few people. Honestly, I figured the race would be settled by BBQ because you can't go into that last weekend with the Royal expecting to win. And then Jordan came out to Jersey. He pulled one of the days off there. Had a pretty nice lead, and then our plan all along was to go do BBQ in the Royal. It just worked out better for my work to go out spend 2 weeks, out in the Kansas City area. And going up to BBQ, I mean, Jordan he's owned that contest for the last for sure. And he had another good weekend there too. So, but coming out of there, I mean, we weren't. I had kind of mentally prepared myself that we were at best second at that point. I mean, Reuters could still, they only needed a reserve those last few weekends really to get me or a GC to get both. They just had the lower score to kick, but I mean, we had the same mindset going into the last 2 weekends. It just kind of shows. I mean, our food was good at BBQ. We just didn't hit the right tables.
Right. Where did you finish at BBQ? What were your finishes on both days? Overall, do you remember?
It wasn't good. We were 19th day 1 and 31st day 2.
Oh, wow.
Mid-pack.
We call that mid-pack on the show. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. You should have just said mid-pack. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a pretty thorough. I mean, and even Jersey. I mean, even that contest in our neck of the woods, when both weekends were pretty much a thorough ass whooping. So.
Yeah, and Jordan did have a good weekend at BBQ. What was it? He reserved day 1 or third day 2, or vice versa, right?
I want to say he was reserved day 1. I can't remember where he finished day 2.
And I guess if he would have GC'd one of those days, that would have put it out of reach, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, maybe not for Reuters. Reuters would have been kicking a lower score. They may have still had an outside shot. I didn't run the math on theirs.
Yeah.
But it would have locked me out though.
Wow.
Too, and maybe that New Jersey. Did I hear that maybe if there was one more team at New Jersey, because he did win in New Jersey, I think.
Right.
On that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, one more team there, and that would have helped him as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, what would that tiebreaker be if y'all had tied? Do you know that?
That's a good question. I honestly have no idea what the tiebreaker is.
Man, Aaron Stouffer's in the comments. He probably knows.
It would have been a relay race on the front stretch.
It would have been a goat roping.
Goat roping.
100-yard dash in the rain.
And you're going to rope until you get one. Whatever throw that is.
How was your brisket on day 1 at the Royal? That's I mean.
Hey guys, we're going to change to the next segment of the show. We're talking. Let's hear a word from our sponsors real quick. Here we go.
What's the second tiebreaker, Aaron? The number of wins. So I guess GCs would be the first tiebreaker. Then I guess reserves after that. Or who knows? Goes to their next drop contest. All right.
Okay. Huh. So I guess we won't go over brisket at the Invitational.
Only the open. So speak about that. I mean, that's the one. That's the only one that matters. I mean, everything else is just it's a warm up lap. We're at a racetrack, right? It's just a warming heat.
Is it not a table game? Come on.
It is a table game. It is. But Bill's got a lot of hate in his heart tonight. I don't know why he's putting it towards me. I don't appreciate it, and I will go to HR again, bro. I thought we had this worked out.
HR,
and that HR is Kit.
Kit's HR.
HR department for this show.
Now I don't know if you realize, but Wes did get DAL brisket on day 1, Chunky. So we're just giving him a hard time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and everybody else didn't know either until he shot it in the mouth off.
So there's about 50,000 other people. Man, look, but we got to come right back with that. And man, Wes 180 brisket. Wes 180 brisket on day 2.
Yes, and everybody came up, John, and they were like, what did you do different? I said, I didn't do shit different because when I was at awards, it was already injected and seasoned and ready to go. I said, I just told Hannah, I said, if you go to the same fucking area you went to, I know it's going to hit a different table. Don't come back.
But he
She
looked
was
over there at Hannah and said,
total opposite side.
They were both 180s when I handed them to you. What the fuck happened on day one?
That lets me know there was a lot of eaters there. I'm telling you.
Man, we were sitting at awards for the Open, and it was about to start. And Phil leans over to me and goes, "Wes got DAL and brisket yesterday." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And the show's going to be great. And
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. First ever DAL in any category in my life, and it happens in the biggest one. I looked at it, and I was like, "Man, I wonder."
Everybody looks up the results.
But I was so glad to watch. I was so glad to see you 180 brisket on day 2, bro. I really was.
Well, let me just tell you how I found out about it. So when it came out and I saw the overall, I was like, I didn't have a good cook. What happened? So I go look at all the categories, and I'm like, I didn't do bad here. I didn't do bad here. And I was like, man, I had to bomb brisket. And I go to scrolling, and I'm like, fuck, I think I passed it. Let me go back up. And I kept going up, and I finally had to go. I was like, there ain't no fucking way. Is that last 169? And I just sat there and looked at my plate, and I don't think I ate anything. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So appreciate you bringing that up, Bill. I love you, bro.
Man, we'll transcend to Chunky's day 1. Let's
Hey,
how did you
gotta look at the bright side, Wes. You didn't get any comment cards.
How was your day 1, Chunky? What calls did you get calls on day 1 or
day 1 we had let me look here. We had I want to say we had a pork call.
Okay.
Pork, yeah. No, we got a call in brisket. We were 11th on day 1.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had 11th brisket.
And where'd you finish overall day 1? Do you remember?
I was like in around the 50s, 54th, something like that.
Gotcha. So going into day 2, you obviously I'm sure you didn't make any changes going into day 2, huh?
We did though. It's I didn't feel like I quite hit my tenderness day 1. Like it was good, but I felt like it needed just maybe 10, 15 minutes more on most things.
Right.
We had a problem with our chicken. Like I only cooked 9 thighs. And I pulled my chicken out of butter bath on day 1, and I had 3 skins just completely split. Like they were just not going to be able to. I'm like, shit. And they weren't quite where I wanted. I just turned them in because I needed to turn something in. Yeah, I'm just like, well, we're fucked on. But yeah, no, we made some change. We pushed everything a little further. I gave the wife some additional instructions for turning our boxes in. She had this idea where she would try to make sure we were first on every table on the invitational turning in. So she was holding the food on a cold, wet day. And I'm like, honey, day 2, I'm like, go up there, find the tray. It looks like it's going straight back. Get our box on. Get them hot food, cool day. So that's what she did day 2. And I don't know whether that really had an impact or not, but that was one change we made.
Any others?
I mean, other than just pushing things a little further, I probably put a little less pulled on the pork in. I loaded up our pork bucks day 1, and it just didn't pay off. So day 2, I scaled it back a little bit, less medallions, a little less pulled. Was really scrutinized everything that went in. Yeah. Other than that, no. I mean, everything was probably just a hair more tender on day 2.
And are you on drums? Are you on drums, or what are you cooking on, Chunky?
Yeah, no, we're on 4 drums. I added a pellet for I had just to do. I've been cooking on 4 drums since 2020, but then I wanted to start trying to get pulled back in the box here late in the year. But I didn't want to mess with my timelines and stuff. Just the way we've been cooking well this year, so I put a Rectech on the back so I could throw 2 full butts on the Rectech and just let it run. Something I didn't have to think about.
Yeah.
Just to try to get the tubes done so I get some pulled out of it.
Right.
And then it worked with the Jack, worked with the Royal. So
nice.
Yeah. What'd you finish? You finished what, 10th overall at the Jack? I think I saw that maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Man, well, take us through day 2 at the Roll, and take us through your call. So your chicken.
And I'm going to check the tires real quick. So Wes, step in. I'm going to check the tires real quick.
All right. Yeah. So take us through your calls, John. What was your chicken call? Do you remember?
I mean, chicken, we were 5th with a 180.
Oh, okay. Nice. Man, what a good way to start off day 2, right?
Oh, no, I mean, that got the adrenaline going pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if my heart rate recovered after that one. I mean, I was pretty up at that point.
So that fired you up out of the gates, right? And
I was.
Yeah.
So you called high-fiving, right? And then turn around right into ribs. And what was your rib walk?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had just gotten back, and I think we got we had 12th ribs.
Yeah.
And then we got 20th pork. And so that's where it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, wow, we have 3, solid calls in this large of a field, and I would have done anything for a brisket call. Anything for a brisket call.
Well, I could have told you how to get that. 180s are nice. 180s are really nice at the open in brisket. Let me say that again. 180s are really nice at the open.
So your pork walk is when it dawned on you. You're like, holy shit. We're in the mix. Yeah, we got 3 walks. And then we still got a category to go. So you're on pins and needles through every brisket call, I would imagine, right?
Well, I mean, so we're sitting there with our Northeast friends. We're sitting there with Bill Gillespie for one. And I watched him like 2 years ago. He had 3 calls in the Invitational and finished 15th. And so I'm sitting there for, when they go, so we didn't get a brisket call. I'm like, they go to the overall. I'm like, please don't call us. Please don't call us. So I'm like, I just didn't want that one bad table to take us out.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when were you calling for it? Like all the way to the end, you're like, man, I want to win the contest. I don't want to reserve. You didn't call for it until it was over.
When they called Bushmaster at reserve, that's where it dawned on me. Like I was on pins and needles up to that point.
You knew it.
And
we all kind of felt it though, John.
Oh,
Yeah.
Were you guys analyzing? Were you guys analyzing your brisket amongst you? Like, man, how was the brisket? Or no?
I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, because again, it was really good brisket. And I'm like, we had a rough stretch in 2021 where we would have 3 top 5 calls in the first 3 and then tank brisket. And so like, all these demons are coming back. I'm like, oh, please, because it was good brisket. Yeah. And Bill Gillespie, he's just like, John, breathe. And I'm like, breathe.
He's turning blue over here. Were you there a couple of years ago? And I like if Joe was watching, my apologies, but everybody gets fear when you hear 3 calls. And were you there when Joe gets, was it like 3rd or 4th, and he killed 3 categories, but he pulls like a 485th in rib, and which he was rib team of the year that year. So you didn't expect it. So I bet you're sitting here thinking, oh my God,
Oh, no, 100%. Because I remember being there when that happened. And I mean, you could just feel the energy go out of that place when they called Joe. Because that's again, he had the call.
Yes.
Now, I think that contest has got a bunch of them like that. There's been a bunch of, when Tim Shear reserves it with no calls, there's been a bunch of, I think the year that Fred won, Boomerang had 3 calls. And they called Boomerang out for 8. They called him out for 8th overall. I think Boomerang got 8th overall with 3 calls, and Fred had 2.
Wow. I didn't know that.
But I think most people thought you had it with 3 calls. That's what I thought. Man, I don't. I think Chunky probably got this.
That way. I felt that way. Bill felt that way. We thought so, but obviously we weren't in the moment with you having all those things coming from every direction and all the emotions. But man, and it was you.
Once the scoring goes above 700, though, too, it can get a little wonky. Because when they called Brad at like 12th at with 700, I'm like, oh no, like you just have, because then the scoring's high, so you have no idea, where you could have a good you can have a good cook and be 705.
Aaron kicked him off the spot. That's hilarious. I guess Aaron's talking about Boomerang. Boomerang got 11th, and he was standing on Aaron's 10th.
That's also a good way, Aaron, to let us know you top 10 that contest. Smooth, bro. Real smooth. He highlighted that was the smoothest little.
We call that an incognito circle back.
Man, I'm pretty sure he hit it with home style too. If I had to take
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah, so you're thinking brisket, man. You got all those demons from other contests. And of course, you're at the Royal. Anything can happen, Man, you could end up with a great brisket and get DAL. I mean, that we know people that's happened to, So
Well, when I looked at the math, I mean, if we take like a 170 in brisket, Chris gets us. So we would, luckily I think we were.
There's no need in that bullshit tonight.
But yeah, no.
What was your brisket score?
I think it was like 174.85, something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. So what's the past, I don't know, 10 days or since then been like? I mean, have you done any podcast or had the phone blow up? I'm sure you had a lot of people reach out, right?
The phone hasn't stopped. And I did the tailgate guys. We did that one the other day.
Nice.
Some other people have reached out. Yeah, no, I thought I was going to kind of come home, relax, chill, and then even like I had been thinking about a solo class, and more than a few people were like, "Hey, if you're going to do one, now's the time. Like you're never going to be as hot as you are right now." So yeah, no, it's been a crazy 10 days. Yeah, no, the phone has not stopped, and Mark from Fire at the End of the Day, he's like, be prepared for like 60 friend requests from people you have no idea who they are.
Yeah. And look, I know you're going to come out with some rubs and salsas. Can you name one of them? Hail Mary for me.
That's not bad.
You got to, man, because it's the greatest Hail Mary in barbecue.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
And either Hail Mary or Blanco, one of the two. That would be great.
Be the fifth Blanco out there. Appreciate it, Jerry. That is awesome, bro.
Thanks, Jerry.
Oh, fuck.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, you got the porn sound back working, Joe. That's a good job.
Yeah,
man, the buttons are heating up. The drinks are going down.
These hot buttons going on. Got the mute button on standby too, Bill. One more comment from your ass. Just saying.
So what's next on this? What's next? What are we going to do this year, John? How many going into 2025? What's the plan? You going to run for Team of the Year again? You going to hit it hard, or are you ready for a little cook wherever you want? What's the plan?
It's definitely going to be we're just going to scale back. I mean, I'm not cooking again until probably Houston. That's probably the next cook on the radar. So, KCBS probably not till Smoke on the Shores in Nashville in March.
Gotcha.
Definitely gonna pump the brakes a little bit. Take some. We need a break.
Well, if you need any chickens, Bill's rounding up all the chickens for everybody on the Champions Road. So just reach out to Bill, and man, he'll provide the protein, for the chicken.
I'll point you in the right direction. That's for sure. Terrible.
It's terrible. Man, you might get chickens for everybody at rodeo.
Man, don't get chickens for me, Chunky. I'm telling you, don't get your chickens for me. No, don't. No, man. I'm no chicken help.
So
it may have been the chickens they ran in the rodeo.
Was that the get-go from out of the gates, or did you just find yourself involved in a points race?
I mean, I can't say it wasn't. I mean, we started off trying to get 7 for the jack.
That's good. I'm sorry, inside joke.
Oh.
And seriously, don't get chickens from Bill.
Or chicken help from me. Stay away. Yeah.
He'll send you down the wrong hole. He pulled a KP.
Send them the wrong direction. So,
are these chickens?
So who are you bringing? I think someone asked who you bringing with you to Houston. Are you bringing a crew? You should bring a crew because it's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm working on it. I'm probably bringing Urkel back with me this year. From Uncle Pigs, and then and probably honestly some guys that probably a lot of guys don't really know. Like I know. I've talked with Mark and Christine Fire at the End of the Day. The guys from Top Gun. There's a couple other Northeast guys. I'm looking for last year I kind of saw some stuff I wanted to change for how we cooked Houston. So trying to come up with a little bit of a different game plan this year and trying to find the right guys to do that with.
I tell you, I was watching Scuffletown. You know, they got a TikTok. I don't know if you are following Scuffletown, but man, they cooked a beautiful looking half chicken. I mean, he's working on his half chicken game. He cooked a gorgeous half chicken on TikTok.
Yeah, no, he sent me a message the other day. We were talking about. He asked if I was going to Houston, and said that absolutely. And I told him that was the biggest thing I would do is work on the half chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might want to show him kids half chicken and then show him what wins. So, man, just always translate. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Some people shake the boxes before they sit it down.
That's right. Yeah. Areas. Don't sleep on Albie Ramps. Don't sleep on Scuffletown. Yeah, his stuff on TikTok all looks great. Kit's stuff does not look great. And he did get first place chicken this last weekend. So.
Don't sleep on him though, man. He and we were kind of on him about taking pictures. And this started on day one at the Royal because Kit, he never takes pictures. And I'm like, man, you need to take pictures. Well, he ended up taking pictures. And he showed me, Bill, some of his boxes. And we both accused him of photoshopping that or getting it from somebody that didn't take that picture. Because actually it looked pretty good. So, man, he'll fool you. He'll fool you for sure.
Right. Man, I don't know if your trailer will fit, Shane, I don't know if your trailer will fit on Champions Row. And you got a 60-foot rig, and they don't allow massive trailers, or there's really not a whole lot of room. So if you do,
get there, it's going to be Champion Rows.
If you do let him use your trailer, man, you want to get there the week before. They start loading Champions Row usually on Saturdays, the weekend before Houston, before the contest, because they gated all of stuff. And the ambassador, you'll see when they'll talk to you, but they'll usually want you in there the week before, so you might want to plan on that.
Man, get there early anyway. It's fun, and there's a lot of parties to attend. So warn your listeners in advance for anybody coming.
There'll be parties from Wednesday on, every night. So,
man, the year's flown by. We're coming into the tail end of the CBA year. Then we'll have Uvalde coming up in December. Man, we'll roll right into rodeo season. So the years just keep going by faster and faster.
Circle back.
Still be fun. Circle back.
Well, that's coming around to Phil's favorite contest. You want to circle back to that one?
Smoke on the Rio.
And I've got several favorite contests these days, Wes, but man, are we talking about smoking on the Rio? It is getting close.
Would be the one that started the circle back.
Man, I think it's in January sometime. So yeah, man, it's right around the corner, and we're getting close. So man, I'm excited.
Look at him perk up. Shit. He just ready to do this thing.
Man, and you've got a class coming up, huh, Chunky? When is your class, John?
It is January 31st and February 1st.
Okay.
It's a Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday? Yeah.
Nice.
And Phil's got one. Your class is already sold out, huh, Phil? Yeah.
It is. Yeah, we've got one January 4th and 5th, so right after the first of the year. And then, man, we'll probably do another one, I don't know, February, March, or, man, who knows? We've got a lot of people. So we'll probably end up. We normally do 2 or 3 in the whatever winter, spring. So we'll see, based on demand, of course.
And then this can happen if you take it. It's guaranteed. It's in the contract. You can be an Australian world champion too.
We're teaching this class on ABA rules. No kangaroo. It's extra.
Right.
King-aroo. Remember, that's supposed to be the name of the rug.
Kangaroo. Man, you got Hail Mary, you got kangaroo.
Gotta have Hail Mary and kangaroo.
Hail Mary. Man, I like the Hail Mary.
If you're bringing Urkel with you, he's obviously was there last year. He knows the lay of the land, and he'd be a good asset to bring for sure. He walked brisket there last year too. He did make finals in brisket. So.
Now, I don't know the Houston bylaws, but are you guys? I know, Chunky, you're going, but Bill, Phil, how does that work? Are you going to be cooking with someone? Are you able to go back in on your own team?
No, it's legacy team, so we're both cooking for different teams. So.
Okay, gotcha. Isn't there like a 30-year waiting list to get in this thing?
Man, something like that.
Depends on how much money you have.
It's not the waiting list. It's the amount.
But that's not options for us. So Man, we cook with folks. We cook.
All right, guys, we got to get these donations up before Houston Livestock.
Man, they're waiting on the tough questions. You got any tough questions for John over there, Wes? I know there's some things on your mind. Just like
anything in the chat.
Nothing going on in the chat. Just a lot of congratulatory comments. Obviously, John. I mean, not that it shocked us. We knew you're a hell of a cook, but again, the whole having to do it. You waited to the last minute, the biggest cook of the year. If Jordan, you're still watching, just mute it, bro. I know it still hurts, but I mean, he was a great sport about it. I got to give Jordan a lot of credit, man. He was one of the first people up there to congratulate you, take pictures, and the guy is an awesome sport, man, and I love seeing that. Of course, disappointed. Who wouldn't be? I mean, they lose it on a last-second field goal from the opposite 20. It seemed like, but no, it's talk about maybe something you're going to do in your classes. You're going to teach. Maybe that's different than somebody else. And maybe you don't have anything different, but you cook on 4 drums. I know a lot of people was asking me personally, like, what do you cook on? I know you do 4 drums, and do you do things different from the Missouri guys, or just talk a little bit about your cooking technique?
I wouldn't say I do anything nothing different. I mean, I think most guys, most can guys, I think are pretty similar, especially for the guys who've taken hot and fast with Tim and Brad. I know. I mean, I definitely don't cook like East Coast guys tend to be a little sweeter. I'm definitely probably a little bit more middle of the road. Definitely a little more like that. Honestly, that Midwest flavor profile, and it's been intentional for that. Like I've taken a few classes just with that intention, just to be able to go to different parts of the country and still score well. Like I know a lot of the guys that never really leave the East Coast, they have a hard time scoring when they leave the East Coast.
Sure.
But it's just, they're cooking like a sweeter profile. But I mean, a lot of what I'm going to get into is more just in like the mindset and how I definitely think I approach the box building a little differently than at least some out this way. I don't. There's a lot of things I don't think matter as much as people think they do. Like I talked a lot to like especially the backyard guys. They get all about the rubs and sauces, or especially the rubs. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it's for color, maybe some salt. I'm like, but whether you're using sweet and savory or loot and booty, whatever, I don't know how much it really matters in the end. It all comes down to like that 15 minutes. So like, can you get that meat the way you want it before it goes in the box?
And that's perfect segue. Somebody had asked, and you talked about it, but first of all, I love hearing you say that because a lot of people talk about that have cooked more than, let's say, 30, 40 contests. Is they have figured out, man, rubs don't matter that much. It's which one's going to give you the best color. And speaking of that, look, if you guys haven't tried sweet grind, that stuff gives the best color out there. You like that segment, how I segued into that? But it really does. But somebody asked, how much further did you take your meats on day 2? If you don't mind talking, I mean, did you push this thing to like CBA type style, or was it just a little bit farther?
I mean, it was definitely. I mean, it was absolutely further. I mean, on my CBA's on my bucket list. I've never cooked a CBA comp. That's something I want to do this year, though.
Smoking on the Rio.
But it was definitely. It was honestly further than what probably KCBS is. What the J Cup tells you what you're looking for. Ribs were super tender. Like they were, and like like the chicken, I knew we were good when I picked it up, and they were just that soft, kind of almost bending to a point. Like they were just real pillowy, soft thighs.
Great info, man. Y'all
how far did you take those chickens? Did you temp them at all, John, or no?
Yeah, I'll usually temp one. I mean, I hit 210 on the one thigh.
Yeah.
And I'm usually aiming like 208, 209. So like 210, I'm okay with that. Because again, day, it's probably going to sit a little bit. It might tighten up a hair. And it's only going to get better the longer it sits.
That's right.
Right. And your ribs, you say your ribs were super soft. Yeah.
They were super. That was actually a little bit intentional though. Again, I was hoping that, again, they sit a little bit. I tried one probably 30 minutes after we turned in, and that bite was right where I wanted it. It was just perfect.
Right.
Perfect. And what are you cooking rib wise? I mean, what brand you doing? Prairie Fresh? You doing?
Fresh. I've been cooking naturals all year, but I didn't like the ribs I had for day 2. Well, I really for the entire weekend at the Royal. So I went up to Proud Souls and picked through like the stuff no one else wanted, and picked like 6 racks of Prairie Fresh Primes. They were all right. I mean, they weren't the best ribs I've ever cooked, but they worked.
Snuck out some winners.
Yes, you did.
Man, Wade's in the comments. That's a great Texas contest if you want to go. That was the one they filmed, Barbecue USA. Man, it's the who's who of Texas barbecue will be. It's a CBA.
$30,000 purse.
Yeah.
$12 buy-in. I mean, nothing to it. You don't even have to do an entry fee. I'm sure it's Texas.
Yeah. They feed you on Friday night.
Yet, they're working on it.
They've got
maybe midget roping.
A whole Mexican dinner on Friday night with enchiladas and everything. I mean, it's a great contest. So $200 entry fee,
I still can't get over this, man. You guys have the lowest entry fees and the highest payouts. I'm very envious, and that's he probably went up $50 from last year. I guarantee it was 150 last year. Man, it's stupid awesome. So I need you guys to stand out.
He's been doing this contest a long time. He's a great promoter. In fact, Wes, there was a time where he would, top 10 team of the years, he would give free entries for those guys. So he's always worked his ass off and done a really good job promoting.
Good job, Wade.
Man, I think his contest is one contest of the year the last 2 years. CBA, all the cooks vote on the best contest, and Wade's contest has won the last 2 years, and it may be the last 3 years. So, man, that contest is man, it's an epic contest for sure.
And it's got to be damn good if you're beating out in the pool drinking, and it still won. It's damn good. And John, that may be one you want to go to as well. Do Uvalde and do the El Campo, because that's one that I really want to go to.
You got a lot. It starts with it starts with the first one. If you just get the first one out of the way, they would roll after that. You'd be
absolutely. We're gonna. We may do one close.
Yeah, we'll stash you some equipment. Man, all you got to just get here.
I want to cook on Chop Job. If I can cook on Chop Job, little boy, you let me cook on one of them.
Man, I get a front row seat to this every week. And, Brian Fox showed up this week, and Jared Barefoot was there. And man, they don't get to see this. They're, Houston guys, so they came out to the Hill Country, and then KP set up sandwich right in there in between us, and they were just kind of in awe of the whole situation, from start to finish. I mean, man, that's how he gets around a lot of teams. Man, it's the mirage, it's the distractions. It's like, what's going on over here? Chaos, shit everywhere, man. 40 shakers, sauce bottles everywhere. It's just man, there's a lot of decoys. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of distractions.
I asked him at the show Wednesday, I was like, what are you bringing? And he named some shit that I didn't know if he was having a stroke, if he was drunk. I don't know what he said, really. I just know when he showed me later, it looked like a traffic barrel with a VW hood on it. It literally, I was like, you okay. Man, he doesn't give a damn. And we'll do well on it. The guy's a legend.
R2D2, and he's got the new dome lid on the little boy.
Yeah.
If you get down there, you got to cook next to KP and watch KP work his magic. I mean, it's of course I told Brian Fox, man, be careful. It'll mess you up watching him. You're going to see things that you can't unsee. And you're going to watch him win and walk.
It'll stay.
He brought me a chicken thigh, and it was as black as night. I mean, it was charged.
Hold on. Man, this is probably going to be part of the after show. Blake's got footage of the goat roping.
Uh-oh.
Blake, just message me in Messenger. Send it if you can, and I'll get it uploaded.
Oh, that's awesome. Send it to us, Blake.
Send it to 180 brisket at the openroyal.com. It'll come straight to me.
180 brisket at the roll-dal.com.
That's going to someone else. He's giving you the wrong one.
Oh, that's awesome, Blake.
Man, I didn't really know there was footage. I'm hoping I remember it was close as I thought on that road. I'm pretty sure it is, but we'll see. We'll have to.
Well, Blake had your phone, and I think he was filming with your phone, but I guess his wife was filming too. So,
okay,
because I think your phone cut out, but man, if his wife got some footage, man, that'd be great. So
it's going to be good stuff. John, how many you got signed up? How many classes are you planning on doing? Looking at your stuff, are you going to do, if you get an overflow, would you do another class, or you just doing one and done this year?
No, I mean, if we and there's been a lot of interest. I was surprised how quickly. I mean, we have about a handful of spots left for the one here in January. So I've been surprised at the response. So yeah, no, if we have enough interest, we would do a second one.
I'm sure you'll get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, for sure. It's a no-brainer.
Everybody wants to, see what you did, especially having the year you did. So I look forward to you get overfilled and go to the next one, man, and strike while the iron's hot. Might as well.
Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly the kind of the way I was looking at it. I'm like, I can't, again, winning team of the year on the last weekend at the Royal. I'm not going to get as hot as I am right now. So why not?
Absolutely. And guys, look, when John's off, come to me for the notes. 50% off discount. I got you. We'll take care of it. No offense. They're going to be used notes, but they're still going to be Chunky's note. I wouldn't do that to you.
They're going to say Chunky at the top. Yeah, that's about it.
Is there a discount code, Wes?
Yeah, it's going to say Chunky IE. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to infringe on you. It's a different Chunky. Call me, guys. Call me. No, man, mad success to you. I mean, that's much props, man. I mean that. It's super excited to see what happened to you guys and how you did it, and couldn't give you any more accolades, man. It's super cool. I mean, this will be a story people talk about. They talked about the winning the Royal, both Invitational and Open. That was huge, and then you having your last shot, and winning by 1 point. I mean, how stupid is that?
Yeah, now that you mention that, I'm like, and you know what? The
people like walk off.
QU that did that though, he's also a Pennsylvania guy, so that's actually kind of who won the Invitational and the Open, also from PA.
Yeah, you East Coast boys are kind of tearing everyone's ass up in these points. I mean, we've got Urkel, Uncle Pigs, and QU, and then you're coming out here, giving us a hard time. So, dude, stick over there on the East Coast. Just win that. What is that?
Close in relation.
What's that?
How far apart are you guys? How far apart are you guys geographically?
Well, I mean, because QU lives in Chicago now, but he's originally, I want to say, from the Pittsburgh area. So, because I met him 2 years ago at the Royal, the year after he won both days.
Yeah. And hell, Brant with Pig and Whiskey. I mean, he's technically an East Coast guy. Yep. He lived over there and kind of started this stuff in Pennsylvania, I believe. So
yeah, he was more like Philly area, but yeah.
Philly, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's who knew, right?
Yeah.
And I got some goat roping footage. So let me I'm gonna remove myself and get it uploaded. So hang on a second.
Here we go.
You got some pins and needles, Bill.
John, sorry, you didn't know what you were stepping into, man. We don't know where this thing goes. It's like a damn river.
Oh, no, I'm actually I want to see this. So
at the class, Chunky's are going to have goat roping.
No,
we'll get you in contact with a guy.
I think that's something we'll probably add to our class. Just as far as like in break time, just rope goats. Get Kid in there, roping some goats. Kid will end up cooking the goat, and then man, it'll go south. And then the wives start crying. It gets bad. It gets bad.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you're not going to points chase. I don't think anybody plans on points chasing until they start the year out right. I mean, look at Brad. I mean, who knew if he was going to points chase next year? But he's already started the year out with a GC out of Florida. What would it take you to continue to chase?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, hey, if we came out and popped 3 or 4 early, I might get tempted.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
you will get tempted.
There's no doubt you're in it,
man. When you're hot, when you're cooking well and you're hot, you're supposed to keep cooking.
How do we
so.
got it?
Yeah. I was just wondering if it would just take a couple to kind of get the bug back in you, and I figured it would. I kind of knew the answer, but so your next contest obviously going to be Houston. When's your next KCBS contest? Do you know yet?
Smoke on the Shores in Nashville.
And that's kind of everybody's, either that. Have you ever done Sip and Swine in Georgia? That's the weekend before.
We did that one. I want to say 22.
Okay.
We did Sip and Swine. It's a nice contest. It's just, but yeah. Now this year, I got.
Oh man!
We're good. We're ready for November.
I think they got some good footage.
We got some good footage. Man, It was closer than I thought. Man, I remembered it being really close. It was closer than that. And you guys Bill's going to get this loaded. Bill,
we're getting a nice Tuesday night treat on this episode, man.
Oh, this is good stuff. I don't know how to, man, let me save this.
Bill's going to have on chaps at a next contest, belt buckles,
just changed everything for me. Man, look, I will pick cook-offs from now on, whether or not they have goat roping.
All he had to do, if he'd have got the damn goat,
it's uploading as we speak. It's goat rope is uploading.
Is that the one Blake sent to you, Bill?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, it's great. I've watched the footage. Man, it's great footage. Man, I don't know how Houdini got out of that rope. I mean, I don't know if it was something technically that I wasn't sound in, or I felt like the technique was where it needed to be, but I just feel like that goat did some black magic bullshit on me.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
He's not sponsored by Wrangler, but
what the fuck? These guys. Are you kidding me? Babe! LC barbecue!
Okay, did that?
I think he was on him and he shook you.
Man,
he came out under.
Man, you think he hadn't been roped before? Like, man, I didn't know I was going into like a train. This guy's. Man,
how was it around his neck and then he runs off?
And then it went around his neck.
I was giving you some credit.
Both sitting there spinning the rope and nothing's happening, and Phil's like, man, what do we got to do to make it go? And he's like, man, you just got to give me the signal,
I've been ready. Let's go. He wore me out, and I'm just like dialed in, looking at the goat, and I'm just, any minute now, he's going to come blazing out of there. And I look at the guy, he's all on the pin. I'm like, man, what do we got to do to make the goat go? He's like, man, you got to give me the nod. And I'm like, I'm not.
Here we go. We'll do it again.
What the fuck? These guys. Are you kidding me? Babe! LC barbecue!
The two hopping.
Hey, that goat did duck your freaking rope. A duck and arrow, a deer, duck and arrow. I think that goat ducked the rope
on the horn, and then you saw the head move.
Play it one more time. I think he'll get it. He'll get it this time.
Let's see if he
closer and closer.
Me roping the goat. Can we get the rope around its neck? Maybe for next week.
I want to know how the hell Bill ended up with the toughest one.
What the fuck? These guys. Are you kidding me? Babe! LC barbecue!
Hey, the best part of that whole thing is Carmen's ass.
Yeah.
It's the best part of it.
Hey, John, is this kind of how the other podcast went?
This is nothing like the other one.
He's like, shit, I should have said no.
And big shout out to Blake and his wife for catching it. That's awesome.
Man, thanks, Blake. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm surprised he got the goat on film. He was so fast.
that goat was fast. That goat was hot.
That
We caught
was
a
the
hot-
LeBron James of roping goat. I'm telling you. Any other goat would have been roped, and we all know that. We saw it.
Y'all see that goat duck and do that move? He did a little move on the rope, So
Man, we could have another clip for shows of the hedge.
yeah,
It's a KP move too.
mm-hmm.
Hey, look, man, we can do this thing like Lane Frost. I say y'all have a
when you get the
repeat.
first place chicken.
Awesome, man.
He's probably taking all that money in 3-ball tonight.
Right. Well, John, man, is there anyone you want to thank before we'll shut her down? We've goat roped enough around, but if you've got some any sponsors or anything you want to thank or shout out, give the dates on your class again.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got Springer Mountain Farms. They've been great this year. The barbecue bus uses stuff, and then Lancaster Barbecue Supply, our local barbecue supply store. So, like I said, in class, January 31st and February 1st. It's Friday, Saturday.
And how can they sign up?
So they can email me at chunkybbq@gmail.com.
There you go.
And the flyers posted. You've got a Facebook page for Chunky. I know you got Instagram, so they can hit you up there too as well.
Yeah, no, they hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, a semi-active TikTok account.
Okay. Well,
And
perfect,
John,
man. Well, thanks for joining us for sure, man. And congratulations again, man. Team of the year, world champion, man. It's man, what everybody dreams about in this sport for sure, man. So
Damn right. Great job, man. Seriously.
Congratulations.
Hell of a year.
Big time.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invite. Didn't know goat roping existed. It was learned something new tonight. So.
That's what those guys move to next after barbecue is goat roping. That's usually the next step.
These are true athletes, John. Just know that. True athletes.
All right.
Enjoy it, boys. Thanks for coming
finally
on.
showed up. I told you he would show up.
There he is. Fred, you've missed it. Just go back and rewatch it.
Why do